protests continue today with more events planned on the streets, and also China's media outlets have intensified their drive to promote the official line on the Hong Kong protests with increasingly vocal condemnations of demonstrations. We're joined now live by Kerry Allen from BBC Monitoring, who can tell us more about the media's take on this, both in mainland China and in Hong Kong. First, an intervention by an American-Chinese actress, Kerry, the star of the Disney live-action remake of the animated film Mulan. What she said?
Yes, so back on Thursday, there were these two huge media campaigns in mainland China. One of these was I support the Hong Kong police, and this was being rolled out extensively by China's state media. And a lot of celebrities were jumping on the bandwagon of this and saying, yes, I also stand with them as well. Another one was Hong Kong is China's forever, basically saying that Hong Kong is an area that belongs to China and areas like the US shouldn't intervene. So these two hashtags were big. Lots of celebrities were engaging in them, and they were also showing their support. And one of these was the actress Liu Yifei, who's going to play Mulan in the upcoming Disney film. And people zoned in on this, recognizing that Mulan is a character of rebellion, somebody who fought the system originally. So this started a hashtag on Twitter trending from a lot of activists and overseas Chinese asking, should she really be playing this role if she's supporting the Hong Kong police? So this has started a trend on Twitter that took off all of yesterday for people saying that they're going to boycott the film when it comes out.
How has the propaganda campaign by Chinese state-run media intensified during the coverage of these protests?
So much so. I mean, going back to early June when these protests became large scale, when they first started and we saw floods of people out on the streets in Hong Kong, Chinese media originally didn't want to show people within mainland China that they were happening whatsoever. So what they did were they were censoring posts that mentioned the protests, they were censoring pictures, and they were outright denying that it happened. But because these protesters haven't gone away, they've been going to different areas of the city. I mean, at their peak, there were 2 million people out on the streets, which is roughly a quarter of the population of Hong Kong. And because the population is quite similar to London, that's, if you think about 1 in 4 people going out onto the streets, it's absolutely mind-boggling. So then Beijing recognized that what it needed to do was to create its own dialogue about what these protests why they were occurring. So what it was doing instead was it was handpicking clashes between protesters and police, very much showing protesters being heavy-handed, isolated incidents, not showing the whole spectrum of what was going on. And this has created the perception of people in mainland China that these protests have been violent, that the protesters are not protesters, they are rioters. And they've been escalating the language of this increasingly over the coming weeks, and most recently been saying that they have shades of terrorism. So really creating fear in mainland China of what's going on.
Kerry Allen from BBC Monitoring, many thanks.